What's up, everyone? Amichai here. Let's break down the riddle that most of you have been getting wrong. This riddle is only 6 lines of code, and you have here 4 possible answers, and yet 75% of people guessing the answer to this riddle got it wrong. So if you aren't 100% sure that your answer is correct, then I encourage you to pause the video, take a close look for what might be a bit tricky here and what's been fooling most of you. And when you have a number locked in, then let's break down why this is confusing and what are the things that you need to notice when you come across these kinds of riddles. Looking at the scoreboard, so we have YouTube with 29% correct answers taking the first place, and last and definitely least, we have Twitter with only 16% correct answers. And if we take all the number of votes into account, then we have about 75% wrong answers. So let's jump right in, break down this riddle, and go through what you need to notice in these kinds of questions. Okay, so we have the record foo that has a single property named value. Then what we have over here are 2 operators, right? So 1 and 2. The first one is an implicit operator that takes an int and turns it into a foo object, okay? So this allows us to do something like what we have over here, where we're converting the integer 5 into the foo object. Now, what you want to notice over here is that when we're constructing the foo object, then we're adding 1 to the underlying value, meaning that over here, this isn't 5, but it's actually 6, okay? So that's the first operator. The second operator is the multiply operator. This operator receives 2 foo objects. It multiplies the underlying value, right? So this thing over here. And finally, it returns a foo object, okay? So let's go through the code like a compiler, line by line, see what the underlying value and why this is confusing and where I think some of you have been getting this wrong. So over here, like we said, we're invoking the implicit operator. We're taking the value, which is 5. We're adding 1 to it. So the underlying value over here is 6 in this foo object. Then over here, we're invoking the multiply operator. But what you want to notice is that on the left-hand side, we indeed have a foo object right over here. But on the right-hand side, we don't have a foo object, we have an integer. Now, to turn this integer into a foo object, then this invokes the implicit operator, adding 1 to the underlying value, meaning that over here, we have 2 foo objects, where here the underlying value is 6, and here the underlying value is 3, right? Then over here, we're multiplying 6 times 3, which gives us 18. So what do you think is printed over here? Well, the answer is 19, because over here, we're returning a integer, right? 18. But because the return type is a foo object, then once again, we're invoking the implicit operator, adding 1 to the underlying value, turning the number to 19. Okay, so like we said, the value really is 19. Now I want to leave you with one more riddle before we finish. So let's imagine we're multiplying this by 2 again. Now, what will be the output over here? Let me know in the comments and let me know if I fooled you with this riddle. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.